I want to make this disclaimer, which I did last time too. I am not a physician. I am a physical therapist who has been practicing the principles of functional medicine for over 15 years. And uh, about, I want to say quite a few years ago, got a lot of certifications, all my CEUs, everything has been in the functional medicine arena, and had always been considering, getting the functional medicine practitioner certification through IFM. And then I fell really sick. And I was pretty sick for a little over 4 years, maybe actually 5 years. So, quite a while. I was pretty sick for quite a while, and it just kind of complicated things in my life. I kind of mentioned this last time that, I was bedridden for a really long time. Almost 5 months, I was completely bedridden. And for about a year, I was completely housebound and not driving. And, um, I was this PT physical therapist who worked out for, gosh, 15, 17 years of my life. I worked out almost every single day and didn't take a year off or a month off or anything. I was just a very, very fit, active, vibrant, energetic person. And out of the blue came this chronic illness, and a lot of it was stress related. We went through a very stressful time for about a year and a half, and a lot of it was very stress related for me. And I kind of mentioned this last time a little bit, so for those of you that heard this last week, I apologize. But it looks like we've got a lot of new members today. And I was sick for a really long time. And initially, I went through the whole conventional medicine route for about 8 months. I saw two hepatologists, two endocrinologists, two OBGYNs, two rheumatologists, and different medical centers, and trying to get answers. I must have gotten every test out there: MRI, CT scans, pulmonology consults. I saw two pulmonologists, stress tests, every test that you could possibly think of. I went through multiple ultrasounds, and they couldn't find anything wrong with me. It was just eye opening, especially since both my husband and I are in the medical field, and we were just shocked. And so this ended up being a really, really long, drawn out journey for me. And after 8 months, I decided to go back to my roots, which is more of the functional medicine arena, and started to try and get answers that way. And my first functional medicine practitioner that I worked with her for about 5 months, and ended up getting so many different diagnoses from her. But she diagnosed me with, CIRS, and diagnosed me with mast cell, and already had been diagnosed with chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia from the endocrinologist, from the rheumatologist. Had already gotten, these cocktails of diagnoses that no one could really figure out. In my opinion, they were just kind of cop outs. They didn't really know what was going on with me. But and so ultimately, the functional medicine doctor kind of diagnosed me with CIRS, chronic inflammatory response syndrome, and a bunch of other host of other diagnoses. And of course, I had a very leaky gut from all the stress that we had gone through, and just a bunch of issues that were going on with me. Ultimately, I only worked with her for about 5 months because she ended up going on medical leave herself. Unfortunately, she was pretty sick as well. And, then I went down to Cascade for about 6 months, and I worked with a CIRS specialist who is pretty well known in the country. And for about 6 months straight, he did the shoemaker protocol with me. And I did okay. I tolerated it poorly, but I still did okay. Um, and I just have a lot of sensitivities, especially because of my mast cell. I was exhibiting a lot of sensitivities, even to the shoemaker protocol. And we had to take it really slow. And, I think by February of that year, after 6 months, I gave up, and I just, decided that I needed to take matters in my own hands. And so then I ended up doing a 6 day water only fast. And if you haven't watched my previous live, please watch the previous live where I really talk in detail about the water only fast. I was monitored by a fantastic DO down in West Palm Beach. I did not do it cold turkey. One of my dearest, dearest friends, he's a world renowned naturopathic doctor as well as a DO, and he was monitoring me throughout, and just with my own knowledge, I kind of knew how to check my blood pressure. I would check my ketone levels. I would check my glucose levels, and I knew all the signs to look out for. So, this is not something that I'm recommending to just go out and do a water only fast, because you really need to be medically monitored. Um, and so I did end up doing this 6-day water only fast and 3-day juice cleanse, and it was a game changer for me. Just game changer, really helped me heal, really started helping me get, a lot of my energy back, and started helping me get a lot of my cognition back, which I had really lost quite a bit. Um, and just started giving me life again. And I was about, I would say at least 40% better from that water only fast. Um, and I know what people say when you're so sick, and especially in my case, I had severe adrenal fatigue, like grade 3 or level 3, as they call it, even border level 4. I think I was like a 3B or something. Um, and so, of course, you have to be closely monitored, but that was definitely a game changer for me. And then the DO down in West Palm Beach, he ended up putting me on immune modulators that made a huge difference in my immune system. And as all of us that are very chronically ill, this is really a big factor for us. Big factor is our immune system. Our immune system is completely out of whack, hypersensitive, overly sensitive, and then responding in this constant fight or flight type of situation, and just responding in a negative manner to our own bodies, and really just fighting with our own bodies and keeping us sick. So I think that was also another game changer for me. And he had me on a very good regimen of supplements, and then some of my own stuff that I was doing. I talked a lot about this last time in the live, and you guys can listen to that. I mean, I talked about all the modalities and treatments that I did in the course of those 4 or 5 years. I mean, I did everything out there. I did PEMF, I did ozone, I did infrared, I did sauna, I did hyperbaric chambers, I did cryotherapy, cold plunges, magnesium baths all the time, detox baths. I mean, I don't think there's a treatment out there that I really didn't try. And so I talk a lot about those in the previous live. And so, yeah, you can listen to that. But anyways, long story short, I then had a terrible knee surgery that went pretty bad, even though I was doing pretty good. And in July of that year, had knee surgery. Couldn't heal at all from this knee surgery, was doing very, very poorly. Probably part of because of my inflammatory issues, probably because part of, just what the surgeon thought I didn't have. And so it ended up just being a long, complicated, drawn out, recovery that lasted another 6 to 7 months, which really shouldn't have been the case, but I suffered with that too. And then, ultimately, September of that year, my functional medicine doctor, the new one that I had started working with, ended up putting me on LDN, low dose naltrexone. If you haven't seen it or look it up, just LDN. There's a lot of Facebook groups for it that you can join, and there's a lot of information out there on the LDN research group. And that was definitely a game changer. That was when I started getting my life back, that remainder of the 30-40% that was left. I was able to exercise again. I was walking the dog again. And really just started dealing with the long-term fatigue and muscle aches and pains. And so then I talk about all that story last time too, about that, and then stopping the LDN, and completely crashing in January of that year because I just stopped it, and that wasn't a good idea. I was having a lot of side effects. So long story short, I got back on it, and it's been great since then. And I tell this story again, just there's quite a few new people that are on, but I tell this story multiple times because I really want people to understand that I have been through it all. I have been through the ringer and back. I get what you're going through. I understand to the core of my existence what you are going through and how difficult this process is. As I said, I was this very, very energetic, super bubbly, 100 miles a minute kind of person who had businesses and working as a PT and nonprofits and 3 kids and like just go, 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 and was leveled one day. And I was horizontal for about 5 months. So I get it. I've been there, I've done that. I had access to the most world renowned doctors, functional medicine doctors, naturopaths, osteopaths, chiropractors. Myself having a functional medicine background that I had practiced for 15 years and access to every treatment and every modality out there. And it still took every day of me fighting, every day of not giving up, every day of just saying, I will wake up tomorrow morning and I will do the same thing over again. And most of my treatments took about 3 to 4 hours of my day. And then by then you're wiped out, and by then you need to eat healthy. And I had to shut down one of my businesses. I had to really cut down on my charity work, but it became a full-time job. I was still working as a PT, but it became a full-time job. So I say all of this to anyone who signed on today who wants to listen to this story, again and again. I have been there. I have done this. I have been through the ringer and back. And I made a vow to myself that, I'd been dragging my feet. I had been doing all the functional medicine courses and CEUs and things like that for 15 years. I just didn't know that I could, if I could do it and become a practitioner and get certified and things like that. And so this was probably, the gentle butt kick GBK that I needed to get me down this path and to say, get it done, woman, because once you get this done, you can start helping others. And I did mention this earlier on, but I was lucky enough to have access to all these physicians. They're friends of mine. I had access and resources to all these treatments, which I know most people don't. And I still suffered. And I still had such a tough time. So I made it my mission that when I got better, I would start the IFM certification program to become a functional medicine certified practitioner, and then I would help people. And so I'm halfway through. I'm very happy to say I'm more than halfway through at this point. It's a very long road, but I hope to get there soon and, officially have that license. So all this to just say, I'm there, I've been there, I've done that, I feel it, I feel you, I know what you're going through, and just hang in there. Just hang in there. Don't give up hope. Every day, if you saw my live last week, I had a few busy days, and then I did the live, and that was my first time ever getting on camera, doing a live. So as you can imagine, it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of just like pressure. And for someone, like us who is in this situation, that's a lot of physical exertion for us. And the next day, I made a video on the page. You can go check it out. But it took every ounce in me to go take my dog for a walk because I was exhausted. I was beat. And so, I say this because I'm still, one of you guys, and I'm still that same person who now has healed quite a bit. But there is days that I'll have, good days and bad days. So today was an amazing day for me. Amazing. I actually did a very intense Pilates class. I mean, she kicked our butt today. I don't know what she was thinking, but it was one of the most intense Pilates classes I've done. And so I'm going to need to sleep a little extra tonight. I'm going to need to take some extra magnesium tonight. Maybe even do a magnesium bath before bed. So it's an ongoing process. It's not that you're healed and then you just completely give up, or you just go back to your old lifestyle. It's an ongoing process, and I was very proud of myself. I really did an intense class today, and that's after I walked about 2 miles yesterday, actually about 1.5 miles yesterday with my dog on the trail, which was a pretty tough walk. It took me about 30 minutes. I was wiped out afterwards. And the day before, I did a 3.5 mile bike ride with my kids on that same trail. It's a pretty difficult trail. So Sunday I did this 3.5 mile, bike ride on the trail. And then Monday I walked my dog for about 1.5 miles. And then today I did this intense Pilates class. And so I know some of you are listening going, oh, this is what I want to do. And I can tell you, as a PT who has worked out prior to my illness who had worked out about 17 plus years of my life every single day, of course with a rest day, but that is all I wanted to get back to. That is all I wanted to do. And it took me a long time. It took me a very long time to get there. But don't give up hope. You will get there. You will heal and you will have energy again, and you will be able to go out there and walk your dog and exercise and get back to a lot of stuff. With a caveat, of course, we won't get back full force, but you'll be able to get back to pretty much a lot of the stuff you're doing, because I am a walking, talking, living example for you, that is possible. So I hope this catches up people that just joined this week and missed last week, or that are just new to the page. I've been trying to put as much information as I can on the page. This is a daily work in progress. So I'm sure tomorrow I'm going to want to walk my dog. Every ounce of me is going to want to walk this dog. But I need to rest. I need to really let my mind do the thinking and listen to my body. I've had 3 very intense physical days. And as you know, for people like us, like, we need to be careful. So as much as I want to do an intense walk tomorrow with my dog around the neighborhood, which is very hilly, um, I'm going to probably force myself to do some qigong and do some, tai chi maybe, or just really breath work and meditate and have a rest day tomorrow. So again, work in progress all the time. This is not a walk in the park by any means, but you can get there. You will get there. And just keep working hard.